Greetings of peace and a very good evening, everyone, dear brothers and sisters. A very warm welcome to the final conversation in conjunction with Brahma Kumaris Malaysia's 40th anniversary celebration. I am Celia and I am very honored to be your anchor for this evening's conversation. Well, brothers and sisters, we all have been enjoying this series of conversations with some of Brahma Kumaris Malaysia's close friends and associates. I'm sure all of you have been enjoying it all these weeks and months. Well, no matter how good something is, it must come to an end, right? And so today's conversation is the last, the final in the series. And we have with us this evening a very, very warm and special person, Reverend Father Xavier Andrew. Well, very warm welcome, Father Xavier. How are you today?
Thank you, sister. I'm very good.
Great,
Nice
great.
just here with you.
Thank you for joining us this evening. And let me introduce Father Xavier to all of you before we start the conversation. Well, Reverend Father Xavier Andrew has been a lecturer and a corporate trainer, proud to becoming a Catholic priest. His passion has earned him more than 20 years of experience, both locally and abroad, Father, across various environments. And with such experience as his forte, he was piloting prospect leaders, he was guiding trainers and educators, and animating staffs from varied industries at different levels. He also gave presentations, he delivers talks, and many, many more things he had been doing. And he always takes a non-sectarian approach in all his presentations, so as to make sure that he gets the personal touch and universal flavor to his listeners. And now, Father Xavier is currently the parish priest of the Church of the Visitation in Seremban, Negeri Sembilan, Malaysia. And he is heading the Kuala Lumpur Archdiocese Ministry of Ecumenical and Interreligious Affairs. So, Father, I think you have a very unique journey. You have more than 20 years in the corporate world, training and educating people, and you were naturally good at that. You were also gifted and have with you the passion to do that job, but still, nevertheless, with all that you have achieved, you left all that and dedicated your life to become a priest. So, Father, can you share with us a lot more secrets that you have behind you about your background and your profession?
Thank you, sister, for that those beautiful words from you. I'm actually very honored and pleased to be in this program with all of you. To dear listeners and Brahma Kumari brothers and sisters, thank you to all of you for taking this time off to listen to this conversation. Well, it's a long journey for me. I started off with a great desire to serve as a priest, but along the way, like we all have different journeys in our life, and there are a lot of rocky mountains and hills and valleys and paths to go and pass. So it was the same with me, and there were a lot of distractions. So I decided to, after my training to the priesthood, I decided to leave and continue my life outside in the corporate world, in the secular life. And while at that, I decided to go into teaching, and then afterwards did my postgrad studies and lecturing and corporate training. While doing those things, I felt that there was lack of fulfillment in my life out there. At the pinnacle of my corporate life, there was some success coming in, but still there was lack of contentment inside me. It is not that outside is bad, but personally, I felt that I want to go back and serve God in a different way. And as a priest, naturally, we speak about God. And so that was what I was yearning to do again. So I came back to the church and I got ordained not long ago. And now I am the parish priest in Visitation Saramban. And all along, there was this search nudging inside me to want to do something more. And since it was already planted, the seed was already planted in me. My mom was a very religious person. I wouldn't say spirituality as such, like all of you are journeying in. So, but all the same, she had planted this little seed in me to serve God. And as being a Christian from a Christian background and tradition, she said, what better way than to become a priest? And that seed planted there was going on. And that's where I went out and I came back. And now it is so fulfilling in me to be able to serve God and his people as a Catholic priest. So the gist of the journey, sister, I share with all of you. It was rocky times and all, but it's really fulfilling. Those lessons all along, it was not regretful moments, but lessons learned. Lessons learned to be able to go further, go deeper into my life. Yes, this is what my journey and the gist of my journey, I would say. Yeah.
Well, very beautiful. Thank you, Father, for that. So you were all along interested in spirituality because your mom had planted that seed. And so, yeah, you took that step, right? You said.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So your first step in the church was when you were ordained as a deacon.
Right.
And you step out in search of something deeper, as you said, something more meaningful in your life.
Right.
And so, and during that period of searching, you came across the Brahma Kumaris.
Right.
I heard that you had
Yes.
some connection with Brahma Kumaris. So can you share how and where do you come into contact with the Brahma Kumaris?
Okay. Yeah, vast majority of people out there. I mean, we are all in a mundane world out there, and so it has become a very ritualistic life in every sphere, even be it religion, be it social life. And so I wanted to. There was a deep prompting within to search for more. And so I often see all religions, with great respect to religions, they are beautiful. They have got lots to teach us, but they are often heavy on rituals. So when I bumped into Brahma Kumaris, it served as a tool to help me practice more the teachings laid in the scriptures. In all scriptures, there are beautiful teachings, but oftentimes the teachings go very shallow in our lives. They don't go deep, and people don't meditate, or rather they don't absorb those teachings and leave them out. It is more like a peripheral thing, just, well, it's okay, but we are more comfortable in doing things rather than being. It's the doing rather than the being. So when we look into the scriptures, any scripture of any religion, it doesn't speak about doing, it speaks about being. So that is how, when I went to the Brahma Kumaris, I found that teachings were more coming alive there. And that was what I liked most, yes, in Brahma Kumaris. Yes.
So you just bump into them like that?
Oh yeah, very good question, sister. Well,
Yeah.
bump into meaning I was actually going around searching, looking around. And one day I saw this center with that meditation. Meditation is one thing that always attracted me very much.
You saw the red light?
Yeah, I saw the red light inside and I saw the board outside. So the red light, so the board with the word meditation, I have always had this passion for meditation. So when I saw that, I said, let me try. I went with a friend of mine, and both of us decided to go in, and then we got acquainted. And then I went to the 7-week journey, the 7 days course. So that kind of brought me greater interest to know more about what this is all about. Yeah.
So you actually took the 7 days meditation course?
Yes, sister. Yes. I took
Okay,
7 days course. Yes.
And so how long had you been with that? Do you meditate after taking the course?
Yes, in fact, I do bits and pieces. Even before that, I do meditation. But with this, a little bit more organized and more disciplined, I would say, came into my life. So because I used to go for this meditations, and so it helped me, yes, to discipline myself in that way.
Do you
Yeah.
attend the Murli class early morning or you go in the evening?
I used to go in the morning most of the time, especially on Saturdays.
5:30 a.m.?
Yes, I used to go 5 to 8:30.
Wow.
Yes.
All right.
And then there were evening classes as well, which I used to go when I'm unable, other days, the weekdays.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. So how long were you doing that?
Well, I've been there for 5 years now. The Murali, yes, following. I mean, then I discontinued because I had to be in the church and continued my priesthood. And so while there, I enjoyed the Murali. Yes. And I was always searching for this word. What is Murali? I know they said it's flute. It's the equivalent to a flute. Then when I checked a little further, I found that this flute is the human heart, symbolizing equivalent to the human heart. And a heart which is made hollow will become a flute for God to have his play upon us, the God of love to play upon, So I found it that way. So I thought, oh, this is really nice, So God is the musician, so to speak. So we are all playing to that music and the dance that God is giving us. So I found that explanation quite interesting. Yeah.
Wonderful. This is something new.
Yes.
Something new. I'm learning this today as well. And you were talking of the flute. For us, it's a flute of knowledge, which we listen every morning, and you did for almost 5 years, which is really wonderful. And so you've heard about the Brahma Kumaris, you went into it, you delved into us, you meditated. So what is it that you like most about these Brahma Kumaris teachings?
Very interesting, sister. Yeah, I like the open eye meditation, and also about that I don't say it is higher level of meditation, but seemingly a more profound way of meditating because it involves greater discipline of the senses. Because if you close your eyes, we are called to train our mind, to silence our mind. But when we open our eyes and meditate, it involves all the senses. So it involves greater discipline. Whether which is better, I'm not an expert to say which is better, close eyes or open eyes meditation. But for me, I would say a more profound effort is being made to discipline your senses. And that is remarkable. And I found that good. Yeah. So if you ask me what type of meditation I do both actually. Yeah. So I mean, to be able to enjoy this life, there's no harm experimenting whatever that brings you closer to God, the divine, the soul, supreme soul. Yeah.
So beside the meditation, what else have you taken benefit from the Brahma Kumaris knowledge?
Yeah. It brings me the two learnings that I liked from them is one is to be egoless, and the other one is a detached observer, which most religions speak about detachment. So being a detached observer, you don't get caught up in the web of the day, in the web of life, and so you are much more peaceful. And this is what I also inculcate in the people I meet and I share my life with, and even in the church. So detachment from these worldly affairs brings you greater joy and peace, And so these two words, egolessness and detached observer, these things are some of the more beautiful teachings that I found in BK's Brahma Kumaris. Yeah.
Have you practiced that? Like egoless, we say yes. All of us know that ego is one of the biggest obstacles in our life, and it creates a lot of problems in relationship as well. So have you really practiced this while you were learning meditation with Brahma Kumaris, or now using that knowledge in what you're doing now in the church?
Yes, much more, a lot more. I mean, I'm a lot conscious of these egos of myself. I remember, I give an example. When I was working out there, I started off with a second-hand car, and then I went on to a bigger car. And then when I was progressing in my life out there with the better salary, I got even a bigger car. So one day a friend of mine asked me, because I'm all alone. So this friend said, why are you buying a bigger car? So the one word the person used is, she said, you are trying to boost your ego. And that came as a slap on my face. And it was a slap that was not something that I brooded over, but it made me reflect further and deeper into my life. It is not wrong to have bigger cars or bigger accolades, bigger qualifications. But what is the motive and objective behind what you want to have? You see, for me, it was not necessary to have a bigger car. So when I had to go for my refresher course, further my studies to come back to the priesthood, my bishop, my archbishop, actually, my superior, when I went for my 1 year studies and I came back, so I had to give away this car to sell this car off. And so he gave me a Myvi, old second-hand Myvi. I'm not belittling Myvi, please. So nowadays it is much, much better in its technology and all. So when I got this car, I took it and I started driving for about 6 months. And I began to enjoy it. And this notion of this egolessness came into me very much. And after 6 months, when I got ordained a priest, he gave me a brand new car. Once you got ordained to get a car for your services, you do travel here a lot here and there. So when I was given this new car and the control was taken away, I did not feel in any way elated in my ego. I was not feeling wow. The wow effect was not there. It was whether you give me or you don't give me, it's the same. Even if you take it away, it's the same. So I've grown in that sense in my understanding of this meaning of being egoless. So it is no point just talking about being egoless, but putting into practice. And I found that was very, very beautiful in my life. And I'm still struggling. I wouldn't say I'm perfect, otherwise I'd be a saint now. But it is a struggle, but I'm enjoying this understanding of what it means to be egoless, because that is what, as a Christian, even in any religion, as a Christian, Jesus himself has taught that, to be humble and simple. So egolessness is very, very essential in my journey towards recognizing the divine inside me. Yeah.
Wow, very beautiful. Thank you for that sharing, the honest, sincere sharing. So yeah, it's so important to be humble in our life, in whatever we are dealing with. And so may I say that this knowledge, in Brahma Kumaris, as well as, of course, your teachings in the church has benefited you in your life.
Right.
Were there any other benefits that you were able to attain? You said something about being peaceful. From young, you were a full reserve person. So maybe you can share something on that as well, if you have.
Well, I wouldn't say I was a reserved person as such, but I was more that outgoing type of person. But along the way, as these things came into my life, there was more inward looking rather than outside. I was more inward. And that is why, for me, like meditation would be something that is not, with my personal understanding, it is not, I term it as formal or informal, or rather conventional and unconventional, which means sometimes you sit in meditation, which is essential in meditation, whether it's open eyes or close eyes in silence, and you get connected. I like the word connected to the divine. And then the other one is also informal or unconventional, which means when do you do meditation? To be able to do it anytime, any work that you are doing, be very conscious about your work that you are doing. And that brings about this understanding of do it in the present, in the now, right now. What am I doing right now? So when I'm consciously involved in doing what I'm doing right now, in the present, that is itself meditation. Apart from the sitting down in meditation, which is not the luxury of many people. Even sometimes we joke about we drive and meditate, but please don't close your eyes and meditate, because you will end up elsewhere. So it's that if you're conscious, even in the road, on the road, you are very careful of what you are doing. So for me, this is how I look at meditation, both formal and informal, or conventional and unconventional ways of meditation. Yeah.
Very nicely put, Father. I like the word you term conventional and unconventional, and meditating while driving. I think it's very good. And we are trained also here in Brahma Kumaris to what we use the word karma yoga. That means while doing actions, we are in yoga, we are connected, like you say, with the divine, we are connected with God. Our intellect is connected because our hands are free to do the work, but our intellects are connected. So is it how you're practicing spirituality in your life currently?
Yeah, very good question.
And doing the work, because I know you're very busy. We hardly get a chance to practice anything.
Thank you.
So but yet you are calm and you are composed, and each time we meet, you always come with a smile first thing. So it's how you're practicing it. Is it spirituality in your life?
Thank you, sister, for this question. Actually, of course, in Christianity, this big word of conversion always is there. But I think a better word for conversion is transformation. You know, transformation where conversion takes place every day. And along with that, conversion means it is not so much from sin to a holy person, but a transformation of your person, of yourself. And meditation truly helps in this transformation. And so I need to practice meditation. I need to be in silence. Even in the service that I do in the church on Sundays, especially where there's a big crowd come, at the end of my service, I call them to a moment of silence, a moment of reflection. And so I lead them to a kind of like what we do what you do in Brahma Kumaris, where reflection words will be said, lead them into a kind of breathing exercise, to a bit of a silence. So this brings about, we can't change everybody, but I try that for myself first and try to inspire the people to do the same. So this practice is very essential, and I do it very much. And so where do we stop this transformation? When does it stop? It doesn't stop. This transformation is ongoing until my last breath, you know, until we continue the next journey. So this is how I understand this transformation, a practice that has to be inculcated in me and the others. So I definitely do it. But sometimes, you know, the work and the body takes a heavy toll on us, and so I become a little bit lax. And so I have to remind myself that run back to him and sit before him, you see, like what you say, the traffic control thing, you know. So go back to him and just, be there, you know, yes.
Traffic control also, you don't use the traffic control, but you do that throughout the day? Like
whether consciously or subconsciously, I try my best to do it, though not perfectly though, but I try my best.
Okay, that's great.
Because sometimes, you know, sister, people come and go. So when they go, I need to unwind myself. You know, when people come to share with you, they don't share cozy things. They come and share depressing things and life stories. And so if I'm going to be caught up in that, I'll be drained of my energy. So I need this for my energy rejuvenation, so to speak. Yeah.
Wonderful. And when you talk of that, it reminds me of our previous former head of the Brahma Kumaris, Dadi Chanki. She was 90 something. 100 over and 104 when she left. And when people meet her, she was still full of energy. And one day, one question came about, why is she always so full of energy? She said she doesn't waste. And each time when people come and speak to her of, like you say, problems and issues, she will connect that to the divine, to God. And you're doing that. You are really practicing it without really maybe knowing it consciously.
Yes, so because, but I think she's at a very, very high level, I think. So what I'm doing is maybe a speck of what she has done, or she's so maybe like what I said just now, a greater effort has to be put in. But like all these different tools, I may say that they are helping me to exercise this in a more conscious way. Yes.
That's one thing. You were talking about transformation.
Right.
And that's one thing I was hearing, that you were doing something that it would have never been done in any church. And what was it? You're creating some kind of space for meditation. Would you like to share that?
Yes, sister. Thank you for mentioning that. Yes, we have a meditation center that is open to anyone and everyone, where people will come in silence and intend to have a day of a guided meditation moment once a week, and once a week a discourse, like morally, a discourse would be half an hour. and the rest of the time they'll come in and they be in silence. There is a quotation in the scriptures, in the scriptures, that says, "Be still and know that I am God." You know, in the Psalms actually. So there's one book we call the Psalms. So in that it says, "Be still and know that I am God." And so that is the quotation that I'm also have put up on the meditation board there as people come in. You see, so that would also remind them, you know, that silence is so essential, and in meditation, you know, and be connected. I like this word, be connected to the divine. Yeah. So that is what we are planning to do. Yes. Yeah.
Wonderful. And so this is something very unique for the church only, because there's no other
Yes.
church in other parts.
Yeah, there are. We have meditation
prayer
centers.
room, but do you have meditation room common in other?
Not in every church, but we have a meditation center elsewhere. But that is only when we go for retreats. People go and attend the meditations, but not on a daily basis. Yeah.
So
Probably
something unique that you.
yes, probably we will
Brahma
be the
Kumaris.
first one. Yes, yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's very good. Okay, Father.
Yes.
You have not visited our headquarters in Mount Abu.
I wish to. I wish to.
I've heard some of the speakers,
someday.
they were so taken up, and they enjoyed so much, they've taken so much benefit from that trip. But nevertheless, even though you have not visited our World Spiritual Headquarters, you have visited the headquarters of Brahma Kumaris Malaysia,
Right.
and that is Asia Retreat Center in Dangkil. So can you share when was that, and what was your experience during that visit?
Okay. I was there for this spirituality conference, Tamil spirituality conference, where I was called upon. I was very humbled to be one of the speakers. You see on the screen there, it's one of the speakers at that conference. And that is where I shared about a particular theme. I can't recall the theme now, right now.
They're showing you on.
Yes, that you can see the holistic sense of worship enables a transformation of the human person to be in harmony with himself and the whole of creation, you know, that nurtures and cherishes on one. So that is basically the theme on which I spoke about. Yes, it's already on the screen there. Yes. So I went to give a presentation on that with a few other speakers, the renowned speakers. I was just a small fry there, but I did my best to share what I could. Yeah. So that is the picture where I'm given that participation and speakers certificate. Yes. It was a good experience, sister. It was a nice experience having met so many other BKs there. And I also came to, first time I was going to the Brahma Kumaris headquarters in Dangkil. And I used to frequent also the Bangsa one on Sundays. Yeah.
I have not seen you there.
I've seen you, probably a few others also. But it was a Sunday, is a big crowd normally, you know, so we just don't get to chat so much. Yeah.
So,
others I'm familiar. Yes. Yeah.
So anything else you found there that you just met, you were just there for presentation, you didn't have any chance to visit the whole place?
Not really, sister. Not very much, but I saw the conference room and a few places there. Yeah, then the meditation room as well. But apart from that, I didn't really make a very big tour because they were all busy with a lot of other activities during that 2 days.
I see.
So I did not. Probably there'll be another occasion to go by, I suppose. Yes.
We will invite you, definitely.
Thank you, sister. Thank you.
And Father, you said that you had the experience of something on the higher consciousness, something like, yes, sorry, it was something on positive addiction. Addiction is a negative connotation, but yet you said something that about this positive, and you attracted to that. So what was it that the Brahma Kumaris teaching that let you have the feeling of positive addiction?
Yeah, basically it's this silence and meditation, sister. See, it's a kind of addiction that you have to get into, because today very many people speak about silence, meditation. It's a taboo. It's something which is very alien, which is because the world is in such a mad rush. People are all rushing here and there, everywhere. So when we speak about meditation and silence, it's become so estranged. People are. For me, it has become a kind of addiction that I want. It is not enough, I would say, because like the morally sweet teachings, I want more and more of this. Because I always tell my parishioners, my people, you tell God, tell the divine master, tell the supreme soul, if you may call it all the time, you are mine and I am yours. I always tell them, you are mine and I'm yours. So then you are that kind of exclusive relationship with him, that you have a passion, you are in love with God. And so that when you have a passion for something, you become addicted. It could be negative addiction, it could be positive. Positive will be healthy addictions, like you sleep at the right time, you get up at the right time, you spend time in silence at the right time. So all these are positive. You read right, you eat right food. So for health reasons, you eat the right food. These are all disciplines. So likewise, these positive and healthy addictions really will be good to. I go a little further and say, for your soul to dance,
Mm.
enable the soul to dance. You
So are
see,
you dancing now?
yes, of course, yes. You see, people will say this is crazy, because how the soul can dance. The very, like I remember sharing, I used to share with people, where we have a park behind this, in Sramban, behind our church, where I walk in the park quite often just to keep myself fit. So I walk clockwise, then I walk anti-clockwise. Almost everyone walk clockwise. So one of my friends, one of my parishioners, my church friend, was walking one day and he looked at me and said, "Hey, Father, you're supposed to be walking this side. You're walking anti-clockwise." I said, "I am different." I jokingly said, "I am different." And then I said, "I do not want to walk following the back of people. I want to walk when I meet people face to face." And so as I look at them, they look at me and I smile. And oftentimes when I smile, they stare back at me. Some will try the faint smile, trying to smile, and some will not smile. Some will give a broad smile. And as I went on doing that all the time, after a while, before I could initiate the smile, they start the smile. Those who don't smile, they start smiling at me. And so for me, I would always tell people, create a moment of heaven, a moment of heaven for the other. A moment of heaven. Oftentimes when people ask you, where is heaven? We point up. Where is hell? We point down. But heaven and hell are here. How you experience it, how you live it out. And so that is how I look at it, So create a moment of heaven for the other, and that is what the soul that is dancing would do, So many people are finding it so difficult to smile, so stressed up. So when I smile at the other person, a moment of heaven comes, and maybe that person may smile and a little stress may go. Never mind if it is only one moment, a second, a minute, doesn't matter.
So
But
beautiful.
that's how I look at it.
Create the heaven in us every
Yes,
day.
every
A
day,
moment
yes.
of heaven. Beautiful. Very, very nice. And so,
Yes, sister.
yeah, Father, we in the Brahma Kumaris are celebrating our 40th anniversary, and this is
All right.
the whole thing this talk about. And the theme we had chosen, as you know, is unity, respect, and love.
Right.
For this. So can you share any experience on these three virtues?
Okay.
And can you comment maybe
Sure.
about these three, unity, respect, and love? Yeah.
Sure, sister. Speaking about unity, like we have lots of activities being done. And incidentally, I am also like you introduced me in the beginning, I'm the head of the ecumenical. Ecumenical means the church, Catholic Church with other churches, other brethrens, and also of the interreligious affairs. So I make effort to, or rather we have programs where we will bring together people of different faiths. And for instance, we have Unity Walk, we have Peace Forum. During Christmas, we have fellowship, Christmas fellowship, and Christmas carols, perhaps, and also other festivities. And the one thing that bring all of us together, I think, music and dance and song. And I also, when I was at the Brahma Kumaris,
Yeah.
every celebration that you all have, I think you celebrate all the celebrations, all the festivities, like Christmas, Deepavali, and Hari Raya, and Chinese New Year, and all the other. So at that moments, I witnessed that also, and I try to bring about that in our church circles also. And unity is always tied with harmony. Where there is unity, there's harmony. And if you see in this whole country, Malaysia also, there's so much of divisiveness, so much of alienation, segregation. And so unity is a very essential thing, because we are all created creatures of God. That includes even the trees and the birds of the air and the lilies of the fields, and the creatures in the sea and the ocean. So I think you have put the picture there. So this brings about a sense of unity. You see, another thing that I see very beautiful in sports. I remember also having way back, a few years back, I had a sports carnival, tele match, where we brought people together in another church, not here. So people of different faiths could come together and play and sing and dance and have music. And I think that is one way of bringing unity. And now we are going to have one coming up in September on Unity Forum with the Pure Life Society, where I will also be there. So these are some efforts that we are making to get people together. It doesn't matter if we can change the whole world. Wherever we are, make an effort, and that efforts will help to bring the message across. So I think unity is always something, efforts at unity is beautiful, and I think Brahma Kumaris are doing it very well. So my heartiest congrats to all of you for having
just now those photos they showed were taken when you were there.
Yes.
They were showing the different photos.
Right.
Different. Yes. So that's what we do. We practice.
Yeah. And if you don't mind, I can just share the other two virtues on respect and love.
Please.
Yeah, I see all these three virtues. They are universal values, not just religious values, which are universal, spiritual values. I see, like you have put it up there so beautifully. Respect must stem from humility. If there is no humility, I don't respect the other. And from the Catholic Christian background, from the Catholic background, I see Jesus himself as an example of scripture, in the scriptures, of washing the feet of his disciples before he went to his passion, So looking at him, like we have got a lot of masters around us who showed us examples of living our lives. So for me to be able to respect the other, not to look at the other from a superior perspective, but equal or even lesser, no harm being smaller than the other. Why must I always be greater than the other? Must I be bigger than the other? In any respect, whether intellectually, physically, of course, and in every way also. So I think for me, respect stems from humility. So when there's respect, we want to get engaged in, we won't be unstrained, we won't be feeling, why are they calling me for a unity walk or for a gathering? There will always be a readiness there, yes. And then the last one would be on love. Love is a very loosely used word, but very profound in its meaning. Everybody say, I love you, Yes, but love for me, again, is from my background, Christian, I look at the cross. I look at the symbol that represents love and giving. And for that matter, anybody and everyone, we need not have to have just one person, but love must come from within you. It stems from the connectedness with the divine. And we always say God is love. And indeed, God is love. Indeed, God is love. And so if God is love, how else can I be if I am connected to him? And when I am connected to him, love will just flow. And with love being abounding in me, there's every possibility, and it should be, that all other vices, so to speak, like anger, like hastiness, like pride, everything else will diminish and eventually will die off. So for me, what you have chosen, the three themes, unity, respect, and love, are so beautifully fitting in. And this is what we have to recognize in each other. And I don't look at persons as coming from different religions or different races, but all are souls. all are God's children. And so naturally, if the other person is God's child, how else can I behave? But that's the way it is to be, because He's love. So that is how I look at these three themes, sister. Yes, yeah,
Beautiful. Very nice. About this theme,
right.
there was some experience you were sharing about the three theme. Can you share on that? I think we do have a little bit more time.
About the three.
Yeah. And how would this team, can you envisage that would help us in bringing about unity in the society? Can you envision that to bring this in Brahma Kumaris, harmony and unity in society, the role of the Brahma Kumaris?
Yeah. So Brahma Kumaris, I think so far you have been doing remarkable, but we should not be conceited. We should not be just, well, that's enough. In life, we should not stop, because God has created us with great potentials to soar the heavens, so to speak, like an eagle. I always tell people, don't be a chicken, just always pecking onto the floor, on the ground, and, just flutter your wings and you just can't go so far. But be an eagle that glides in the skies, and if you look at an eagle, how gracious its wings are, it flows and it doesn't flutter and around, and whereas the chicken is always pecking on the ground and is making a lot of noise. So for me, Brahma Kumari is that beautiful that potential of an eagle is there in the Brahma Kumaris. So I think you can play the role of building bridges among different faiths. You can continue playing the role of building bridges among different faiths, and then that in that way, people will understand more and more what they are here for. So I think that call that you have, if I envision that, probably you can play a bigger role in continuing and this building bridges among the different faiths by using these three themes, by using these themes to reach out to people, not necessarily different faiths, but also NGOs and society at large. Yeah. So in that way, I think you will already, you're already doing it, but God has a plan for everyone. So through this organization, if you might call it, that you can continue moving on to greater heights, and that's how I see it like in the Brahma Kumaris. So maybe you could consider that among yourself, can carry it through, and I see that people have. We can't reach a vast majority as yet. We are doing. I think you are doing your best, even in the church, even among our faith people of our Catholic faith or Christian faith. People are all still struggling in their faith life, so likewise every effort counts. Yeah, so I see that. So maybe this could be an effort on your part, which you're already doing. I would say the Brahma Kumaris are already doing it, but as I said, don't be conceited. Like myself also, I don't want to be conceited and say, oh well, everything is done. No, as I said, until the last breath, this journey must continue, to reach out to every other human being, whoever we can reach out to. We are, like I said just now, create a moment of heaven. But probably you're creating more than a moment of heaven. You're creating a few hours of heaven for people. So I think that should be welcomed. Yeah. Yes.
We are trying to create heaven on earth.
Yes.
It's our aim that the whole world will become peaceful.
Yes.
Everyone live in unity and harmony with love for one another by connecting our love with the most beloved, the divine one.
Absolutely.
You are playing your role in different ways. Yes. We are the same, but also on different journey, different path. So that was very, very beautiful. And what are your good wishes for the BKs? You know that we are doing like this. So is one of the projects.
I don't know whether, of course, we always wish each other well. Yeah, we always wish each other well. Sorry, sister, you're saying something?
I said that this is one of the programs that we have embarked on as part of our efforts to meet with the people outside, to share with them who we have known, who we are engaging with, and like this program. And there are many more we wish to do, so that everyone in the world, in Malaysia especially, and in the world, may experience that little drop of peace. It's so peaceless. Everything is so uncertain in the world nowadays, but at least that you said a moment of heaven, definitely, and a moment of silence, a moment of peace, a moment of connectedness with God. I think that would be so beautiful. So I'm sure with your good wishes, everyone's good wishes, will be able to move along in that path towards achieving our aim. Yeah.
You see, as a human being, one beautiful thing that we all should do is to think of the other rather than of yourself, you know. So I think Brahma Kumaris are playing a very beautiful role in welcoming people of all walks of life. And so my wish for you is that you continue to be a bastion, an example of spirituality that calls for a greater soul consciousness, you know, because the soul consciousness is very important for us to have an understanding of who God is. So when you have an understanding of who God is, then you will begin to let go a lot of distractions and attractions towards the world, which vast majority, probably more than 90% of the world are into. So most of us are living a very unconscious lives, or rather very heavily body conscious, body consciousness. So Brahma Kumari, I pray that, and I wish that you continue to be that bastion and example of spirituality that calls to greater soul consciousness. And spirituality is something that is very personal also. Some people may not be in any organization, may not be in any religion, but they may be so one with the divine, so that we cannot judge anyone. Yes. So we see you are playing an instrument. You're playing you're like an instrument. And I always look at religion as also as a vehicle. Every religion is a vehicle towards God. God has desired us to use this as a vehicle to understand or to experience Him. So even in a religion, people may not experience God, because we are all caught up in that body consciousness that we want to do things. So I said at the beginning of this session that we are not here to be doers, but to be. Just don't become doers, but to be at the feet of the Lord. To be at the feet of the Lord is more important than to do things. Of course, then you may ask, oh, then that means we don't need to do anything. You're saying that we don't do anything? No. You see, meditation is, as I said just now, meditation is not just sitting in meditation, but anything and everything that I do it with great consciousness and of the present, the now. So when I am always in the now, I won't brood over the past. I won't be anxious about the future, but I enjoy the present. So when I enjoy the present, I'm able to live this life to the fullest. This you read, a lot of people say that, but it is not so easy to practice. So my wish for Brahma Kumaris is to continue this role that you are playing, and congrats to you for that. Yeah.
Beautifully said. Don't brew about the past. Yeah. Don't worry about the future, but live in the present. Lovely, Father. Thank you. I have just one, because it's still about time.
Yes,
I have one personal question, which is off the track. I mean, I hope it's not off the track.
No worries.
Looking at your journey, I was just reflecting on your journey. You were in the church, and then you did marvelously outside in the corporate world, and you came back to the church. And in between, you met, it is fated, I mean, it's destiny that you met the Brahma Kumaris. You learned about meditation. You were connected with God, whom we here in Brahma Kumaris refer to as the Supreme Soul. We even lovingly call Baba.
Right.
And my question here is that, were you closer to God while with the Brahma Kumaris, or now, or before, but in the corporate world? So can you share your personal experience? Because this is so important. My feeling as for me is that when I'm close to God, when I'm in love and merged in His love, I do everything for Him. And when I do everything for Him, it is that selfishness, that desire are all gone. And also things become more accurate and kind of like at the right time, doing the right thing. So that connection with the divine, with God, is so important. So what is your experience before, while you were trained in
Right.
seminary training as a
Right.
deacon and then corporate world, and then now as a parish priest.
Yeah. Thank you, sister, for that question. You see, growing up days, as a youth, as a teenager, maybe most of us also would have had the same experience. It was an ABC level of, I just illustrate it this way, an ABC level of God, knowing of God. I had an ABC level. That means it's a kindergarten knowledge of God. So somebody has to be telling me what to do and what not to do, how it is not. And so as I grew up to a teenager, I got more an intellectual understanding of God. Intellectual knowing about God is different from knowing God. So I had all the tools to know about God, from religions, from studies, from theology, and all that I got. But as I grew, that's when I begin to search more. I think then I had to travel a little bit outside of Malaysia to search here and there, especially to India. And I started reading a lot of other books, and also I said there is much more in this journey in pursuit of God. And that is when I was out there, I was working, I was very materially contented. Materially, I was okay, but there was still a vacuum inside. So the ABC level became a university level, but it is intellectual. It is nothing to do personal. So we cannot compartmentalize God and say it's ABC level, it is university level, or it's above that. So when I went to the Brahma Kumaris, it has helped me to open the horizon a little bit more, beyond the intellectual stuff, and then there was a little bit more a deeper understanding of connectedness to God, and then when I came back to become a priest, then when I continued my journey as a priest, I'm using all the different resources, if I may say, not so much tools, from all the different learnings, including from BK, to enjoy this life. And it is no more an intellectual knowing, but it is a personal knowing of God. And so now, for me, it is a personal knowing of God through this tradition, through this journey of mine as a priest. And so I want to share this personal knowing of God to people, not just believing in God. You see, in believing, we don't have knowing, but in knowing there is believing. I hope, I don't know whether people understand this, but in knowing, in knowing there is believing, but in believing there is no knowing. I mean, I believe in God, but I don't know God.
Blind faith, is it?
Sorry? Blind faith, yes.
Blind faith.
Yes. So God is not up there in the heavens. God is very personal. He's here. He's within you. He's around you. He's everywhere.
So can I say that God, you are now closer to God?
Oh, yes.
In terms of your relationship.
Faith, yes, in terms of my faith, my relationship. And like I said just now, how far have I gone? How have I gone? I cannot say that, because it is relative. I cannot give an absolute answer to that, because my journey continues, as far as I can. I just want to, my passion is that to come closer to him. As I said just now, tell him you are mine and I'm yours, and I want to go that way. Like when a couple they're in love, they're so passionate about each other's being there for one another. So this is where I want to journey further and bring this message to as many people as possible through this ministry of mine as a priest. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Father, so much. I think I've gone a little bit beyond time.
No worries.
Because this is the last session, I think you want to give the most to the audience.
Sure, sisters.
And really, thank you so much from your sharing from the heart. Really appreciate that you have joined us, even with very little short notice.
No worries.
Yeah, so acceptable, and I really appreciate you for all the sharing you have shared with the audience. So thank you so much. We hope that you come and visit us.
Yes.
Whether it's in Bangsar or in headquarters, and perhaps to our headquarters in Mount Abu, Rajasthan, India.
Sure. Why not one day? Yes. Yes.
Okay. Once again, thanks you.
Thanks to you all for this warm welcome to me, and I hope you benefit from this little sharing of mine. And I wish you all well in every way. God bless, and
thank you.
Peace to all. Peace to all of you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. So dear brothers and sisters, as this is the last session, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks and sincere appreciation for being so loyal, so dedicated every week after week in joining us for this conversation. I'm sure you would have learned a lot, enlightened you a lot, and enriched your life in one way or another. So my deep appreciation to all of you out there that have been listening to us and being with us, and do share those recordings with your friends. I'm sure you would be able to inspire many, many more others, and make that happiness to them, like as if that moment of heaven is with them. So let us create that moment of heaven every time, every day, every moment of our lives. So once again, thank you so much. Om Shanti, and hope to see all of you again in one way or another, whether it's online, virtual, or in person. Om Shanti.